Of course, today's show is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Yes, we're talking about the top-rated sports booking app in all of North America. Safe, secure, and my favorite, reliable. Reliable. And whenever we talk about DraftKings, we know why we bring them up. It's because the NFL season is back. And with the NFL season being in full swing, a lot of action, a lot of opportunities as well to find ways to spice it up for you. And the thing that we do know is some people like to have a little fun putting a little wagers on the game. Well, if you are in that category, well, let me just tell you, I got action for you, all right? So for the new customers out there, when you download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use the promo code Moats. When you do that, $5 bet, instantly you get $200 in bonus bets. It's a nice concept, as you can tell. But you got to use that promo code, all right? Use it, use it, use it. But I also understand that at times you might get lost in the sauce, potentially even developing a gambling problem. Well, if you live in New York, you see the number that you could text. But for everybody else, the digits to dial are 1-800-GAMBLER. I said 1-800-GAMBLER. We got the Steelers injury report. We do got to update, see what we, have going on with some of the guys, man. So in terms of this week, we already know a couple of guys have been ruled out. Derek Harmon, Malik Harrison, Deshaun Elliott. Coach T had already ruled those guys out Tuesday at his press conference. So we know those guys are unavailable to us. All right. So obviously we know Derek Harmon, that's the interior D lineman we still have extremely high expectations for. So we will see how quickly he's able to come back. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, maybe a week or two, right? Tops. Malik Harrison, we obviously know he went down last week. We will see how much time he ends up missing with this, but we at least feel good about the depth in the interior part of that linebacker spot, Cole Holcomb and company, right? Deshaun Elliott, we obviously know he had the knee injury, man. Not the best, but nothing that looks like it's going to be extremely long-term, so we do like that. But we did bring in Jabril Peppers, so we do feel confident in that addition, but we obviously have to give it some time to get up to speed. But we do like that one a lot, man. So I like that. In terms of new bumps and bruises, though, Herbig, right? We're talking about him. Herbig had he was limited in practice, right? So with Herbig, we know he's working his way back from the hamstring injury that he sustained at the end of the preseason, realistically, right? But at the same time, we know that he was close to getting back, right? At least we thought he was. So a limited participant for yesterday's practice. We don't hate that. It is a step in the right direction, but obviously we know today and tomorrow are going to be really critical in terms of his availability, especially with him being a little bit of a younger player. But we do know Coach Tomlin has a lot of confidence in him because of the in-stadium production that we've seen from Nick Herbig. JPJ, this is the interesting one. We know he went down with the hamstring injury last week. He was DNP yesterday, meaning he did not practice. All right. So with that, he was labeled as hamstring. Some guys don't practice and it's resting day, right? Or vet rest. TJ Watt, Cam Hayward and company. Calvin Anderson, right? The reserve backup offensive lineman, he was out, but with the illness. So we kind of have a picture of who we need to be having our eyes on and stuff like that in terms of availability. JPJ is the one we'll be waiting to see what that looks like, though, in terms of what his practice designation was for today and then obviously tomorrow. Okay. But no real new names popping up on the list. So we do like that. And it does appear that outside of Elliott and Harrison, we kind of got out of that game, man, clean. And that was good. That's what you want to see, man. Not a long laundry list of bodies. Keep it as clean as possible, man. All right. Now, flip side, man, when you talk about Seattle, man, no body of significance. Well, actually, I mean, correct that, man. So we got Jake Bobo, one of their rotational wide receivers, concussion, but he was a full participant for Wednesday's practice. Nick Emenwari, right, the safety, young boy over there, man. He had an ankle in terms of his designation. He was DNP. We'll see how that looks, though, because like I said, it was a Wednesday practice. Ernest Jones, that's the one that I'm kind of keeping an eye on because he does play a lot for them. He was DNP, but it was for his shoulder. Typically, when you play linebacker in this league, yeah, shoulders, they're going to be aching. They're going to be rocking a little bit. So you do get some of those days. They designated it, so we will see what that looks like. Julian Love has a growing. He was limited in terms of his designation for yesterday's practice. And Wosu is one of their linebackers as well, has a knee he's dealing with, but he was a full participant. Jaron Reed, interior D tackle for those guys, has a back that he was dealing with. They had him as limited. Devin Witherspoon, we know Spoon, right? Very athletic, productive, secondary player, man, plays slot, plays outside corner, man, physical, can blitz, does a lot for those dudes. He was DNP with the knee. All right, so we will see what that looks like. And then the last guy that they had designated was Derek Young. He had a hamstring. They had him limited. One of their other depth wide receiver special team type guys as well. All right, so from Seattle, the names, like I said, for me, that kind of popped up: Ernest Jones, Julian Love. But we will see with that. Julian Love, I don't anticipate that holding him back in any capacity. Same with Ernest Jones. We'll see about Nick Emenwari, obviously, because he was a DNP. But outside of that, they pretty daggone healthy, man. I expect Devin Witherspoon to be out there as well. I'm just throwing that out there. All right. But as a whole, though, like I said, man, I like where we're at right now, man. And I think that as a whole, man, both parties should be relatively healthy, pulling up to the congregation, pulling up to this fight. So definitely looking forward to that, man. But shout out to the fact that, yeah, man, we got the guys, and the guys are feeling the way that they're supposed to be feeling today, man. So like I said, we will see what that looks like, though, later in the week, man. Shoot, well, let's go from there. All right.